Hello, football fans. Welcome back to the Helmet to Helmet pod, joined by my constant co host, Deuce. I'm Stokes. We're bringing you all the latest football action. Apologize for the recent lack of episodes. I was out of town in Miami, actually, to witness the Dolphins' 70-point victory. Deuce is traveling, but we are back here bringing you week 3 recap, week 4 episodes. How's it going, Deuce?
Going good. It's a big week this week for us.
Yeah,
Divisional matchup.
yeah,
Not I'm
yep.
not too confident after what the Dolphins displayed last Sunday.
Yeah, I would imagine this is probably the first time in the Josh Allen era a Bills fan has felt nervous facing the Dolphins. We're gonna get to the Dolphins Bills big matchup. First, for those who don't know, we are actually proud to announce we're going to be participating in a giveaway. Yes, so fans, if you'd like to win bunch of football gear. All you have to do is these three steps. Go on Instagram, follow at Coach Deuce and at the podcast Instagram at the HTH Pod. Deuce is going to be posting on there a giveaway post announcing a bunch of details. Like that post, comment three of your friends, tag them in the post, and repost the giveaway on your story, and you'll be entered in for a chance to win all sorts of football gear. Deuce, have you announced what you're giving away yet?
Yeah, so you're gonna get it's all pink stuff because October, all athletes like to wear pink. So I got gloves, head tie, wristbands. I have a towel, do rag, socks. I'm sure there's one thing mouthpiece. That's the other thing,
Cool.
mouthpiece. So yeah, six things that you
Cool.
can win, and yeah, just I'll be up probably by the time this is out too, and
Yeah.
the next episode is when we will announce who wins.
Right, right. So keep your ears open. Listen to the next episode. This is episode 5. The winners are going to be announced on episode 6 throughout the episode. So be sure to enter. Follow at Coach Deuce on Instagram for the details. Follow at the HTH Pod on Instagram to enter. And football fans, you're going to be entered for a chance to win some great football gear. So why don't we get right into it? Week 3, exciting games, some snoozer games. It's just some initial quick thoughts for me. Some of the teams we had talked about getting or needing wins last week got wins. You look at teams like the Chargers, they looked really good. Some other teams that we would consider better teams in the league did not look so good. Cowboys, very shocking loss. Um, Deuce, why don't we start with you? Obviously a lot of games. What teams you think looked good last week? Why don't we start there? Couple teams that caught your eye looking good.
I think that the Houston Texans caught my eye. CJ Stroud played very, very well.
Yeah.
And I think that opened people's eyes from the last couple games. Like, obviously, they didn't win. I think it was their first win, right? So, like, I don't think they won
Yep.
prior.
Yep.
But
Yep.
CJ Stroud did not play that bad, I believe, in those other two games. And it looks like he finally I don't want to say confidence because I feel like he was always confident, but it kind of all pieced together.
Right.
And he looked really, really, really good. And the number one thing I've noticed is usually quarterbacks, when they feel pressured, they usually try to force some throws or they usually get mixed up when defenses are trying to disguise coverages. But CJ Stroud has a 0 next to that interception column. And I think that's like the number one thing
Hmm.
that impresses me the most is he is not forcing the ball in places that he's not confident in, and he's not letting the defense force him to throw bad balls.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Stroud is playing very well. As a rookie quarterback in the NFL, I think it's very difficult. I think the jump between college football to the NFL is extremely big, one that a lot of people I don't think take into account. And I agree. I think the biggest thing standing out to me is he's not losing them any games. He might not be winning them a lot, although last week I thought he played fantastic. He's making plays, he's being able to survive in an NFL atmosphere with a team that frankly doesn't have a ton of talent around him, you know. Um, but I think guys like Nico Collins, Tank Dell are really important playmakers. And I think the Texans, I think they look pretty good. I think they look pretty good. Obviously, they're not any sort of Super Bowl contender, but I think they're ahead of where a lot of people put them. And on the other side, a segment we'll get into now, giving
Before,
one
I'm
of our
sorry,
teams.
before you get into that, so someone
Go
did
ahead.
say they might get 7 wins this year. I don't know if we
Yeah,
remember.
certainly not me. I'll tell you that. I had them at 3 wins. Deuce had them at 7 wins. So I gotta. Looks like I might have to give some credit where it's due. Still a long season, but so first segment we're gonna talk about today, given one team through 3 weeks who we like and as a surprise, and one team who's been a disappointment. And since we're talking about that Texans game, I'll go and start it off. My biggest disappointment so far has been the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think everybody, I would venture to guess everybody had them winning the AFC South. I had them at 11 wins, winning the division. They're 1-2 right now. And yes, they still probably will win that division strictly off of just not
Oh no,
competitive
Colts,
teams in the AFC
Colts,
South. But
Colts.
yeah, we'll get into them later. I'm really not thrilled by the Jacksonville Jaguars, specifically Trevor Lawrence. I think I don't think he's playing as poorly as his numbers are, but I think that the NFL media has fallen in love with just the pure upside and potential. And don't get me wrong, if I'm starting an NFL franchise, Trevor Lawrence is probably one of the guys I would like to start a franchise with. However, you can't make up for the fact that he has not played well this season. I was looking, and frankly, his entire career, his first year, I sort of throw away. He didn't really have any talent. Last year with Doug Peterson, I think he took a step forward, but I don't think he's playing as well as a lot of people want him to. This year, he's 31st out of 34 qualifying quarterbacks in EPA
Damn.
per play. 73% of his NFL starts, he's thrown 0 or 1 touchdown pass. As a guy coming out of college, people called the best quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning. Um, I still think he's a good quarterback, but I think we might need to pump the brakes a little bit, calling him this generational game transcending prospect. So that's who I've got. I've got the Jags as my biggest disappointment. I still have them winning the division, but man, they look a lot worse than I think a lot of people thought they were going to.
Yeah, they definitely. I feel like there was a lot of hype getting into them coming into this year, especially with Calvin Ridley. Everyone thought that they were just gonna blow the top off and run away, I guess, with the division and
Yeah,
make a run as like an actual contender to beat the Chiefs, Bills, or Bengals that were like the top seeds.
yeah,
I think my biggest disappointment is the Jets, and I'm saying that because of the hype before, not because I think Zach Wilson's like supposed to be good. I'm just thinking
yeah,
before Aaron Rodgers got hurt, that
yeah.
the Jets were being talked about every single day from March all the way to the season starting, and all that hype, all that talk, obviously just went out the window after the first 4 plays of the season, and I think it just puts them in a very interesting position
Yeah.
because without Aaron Rodgers, obviously that's like what they were missing, and it's just really hard to gauge. I feel like coaching wise, if
Yeah.
coaches are actually good enough to do their job, or if, even if they did have Aaron Rodgers, they would have been like a 7-11 or 8 and
Right.
9 team. So
Yeah. The Rodgers injury definitely helps. I think, or hurts, sorry.
mhm.
I think obviously the second he went down, New York Jets season was over. I think you can say that for a lot of teams. I don't think any team in the NFL is equipped to win without their starting quarterback. But um you brought up an interesting point. It's about coaching evaluation. It is very difficult in today's landscape of NFL to be a defensive oriented head coach in the NFL. If you don't luck into a elite quarterback, it is very difficult to win. Um, and if I'm starting a franchise today, if I'm a general manager today, I can never hire a defensive-minded head coach. If you look at
They're
all the
not
top
looking
teams
good.
in the NFL,
Even the
all of
bottom
them
teams.
have. Yeah, I mean, that's
Bears
just
defensive
the
minded head
way.
coach, they can't fucking they can't move the ball past that midfield.
Yeah, I mean, just you look at it, the way to success in the NFL nowadays seems to be find an offensive head coach, find an elite quarterback, and win games. And if I'm the Jets, I like Saleh. I really do. His side of the ball has been fantastic in his tenure. But just, I mean, they are in this weird cycle of mediocrity where he can't develop a quarterback, as we've seen with Zach Wilson, and Rodgers didn't work out. No idea what's going to happen with him next year. Um, I personally believe the best what would I call it? The best route for success is the Jets riding Zach Wilson out, inevitably in air quotes tanking, and drafting a quarterback early in the first round. Now,
And
Rodgers
what
may
would
not
yeah.
like that
I was gonna say
because
what with
you are
Rodgers?
exactly you are not getting somebody that will impact the team this year. You're already out a second round pick from the Rodgers injury. So that's your top 2 rounds. You're not drafting anybody that will help you succeed right now. However, I think that's the best case scenario for this franchise is ride it out with Zach Wilson, suck for a year, and then draft a quarterback next year and hope he hits.
So
Um,
like what are we thinking? Like you're saying like draft quarterback as in like Drake May and Caleb Williams?
yes, yes, I'm seeing if I'm the Jets, I personally believe, which Jets fans may disagree, um, I personally think their best chance of succeeding is not going and making some bonehead move this year, letting it ride out. I'm sorry, Zach Wilson. I don't care. That could be Zach Wilson could be playing with the '85 Bears. That team is not winning more than 5 games. You're looking at almost a guaranteed top 7 pick this season. I think that's your best chance to succeed is drafting. It's probably not going to be Caleb Williams, but drafting some other quarterback in the first round and hoping he leads you to success. I just,
I mean,
I just good.
sorry. I mean, I don't think that as a Jets fan, I feel like that's pretty good argument. Like you can
Yeah,
either have obviously Aaron Rodgers is already established, but how long are you gonna actually have him? He can come back, get hurt again because of how old he
yeah,
is, and then you really, even if he did good for 1 year and then retires or another season-ending injury calls it, that's just 1 year. You draft like
yeah,
like I don't know if they're gonna get Caleb Williams or Drake May, but if you could get one of those,
yeah,
that's potentially 10 years of success.
yeah. I think the only argument against that is it sucks wasting another year of Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner's rookie deals. Those guys are going to get paid a lot of money. I don't know if they'll be able to have Quinnen, Sauce, and Garrett all on the same team
Yeah.
when they're off their rookie deals. But I don't think, especially now that they're 1-2, most likely 1-3 after they lose the Chiefs. Let's say you do a couple names being thrown out. One intriguing one was trading for Kirk Cousins. Let's say you go and trade for Kirk Cousins. You're 1-3. You're already 0-2, or
What
well, I guess
picks?
1-1 because you're 1-1 in the division. But I don't think Kirk Cousins puts this team over the top at 1-3 with 2 games to make up over versus Miami and/or Buffalo. Like I
What
just
picks
I
though?
don't
Like who would
see.
they actually trade out? Like what would the actual package be? Like what do you think that would be?
I don't know because of Kirk Cousins'
Age?
uh contract status. He makes a ton of
Oh yeah,
fully
that is
guaranteed
true.
money.
It's the
I
last
don't
year,
know how
right?
much. Yep,
Yeah,
correct.
that's crazy.
Uh I don't I don't know. I just if I'm the Jets, I couldn't part with any draft pick above the 4th round for any stopgap backup quarterback to come in and try and win games. I don't think that's smart as a franchise.
Yeah. And on the Vikings, then I don't know what better they basically have to actually tank this year.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're gonna play themselves to like 6 or 7 wins at this point. Um, but switching over to biggest surprises now, um, for myself, I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts. I had the Colts at 6 wins. Um, I think Richardson looks how a lot of people thought he was going to look. Incredible, incredible upside. You see some of the throws he makes, not a lot of other quarterbacks can make. His running capability, not a lot of other running backs have. I think he's a little raw, as everybody sort of expected. Um, he doesn't he doesn't throw the ball downfield a lot. 5.1 average air yards. I believe it is last in the NFL of every quarterback. So he's completing a lot of passes that are sort of expected for him to make. But I think he's playing well. I think the Colts are surprisingly to me looking like they might actually compete with the Jags for the division. I still think the Jags will win. I don't think the Colts will actually win a lot more games, but I think through 3 weeks, they look a lot better than me and probably a lot of people had them.
Yeah, the Colts messed up my freaking number one seed
Yeah,
Ravens, even though they missed the
yeah,
call, but we won't get into that. My
yeah,
they do look
good.
yeah, no, they
Yeah,
definitely do look good. They had a very good game plan defensively. And that's right there, that's the opposite. That's how it should go. The offensive coordinator or excuse me, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, that's the um head coach, correct?
yeah,
And the offensive coordinator went to the Cardinals.
yeah, I think so. I believe
Yeah.
so.
So as you can see, that's actually like how it should go. Is the defensive coordinator went to the Colts. The defense is really good. Obviously, they struggle to put up points, but when they do, they'll win. With the Cardinals,
Yeah,
you can see Cardinals can't stop a freaking water leak, but they're still putting up 28.
yeah,
But yeah, I think the Colts definitely surprised me. I almost said that I don't think they're winning the game, but I gave them two.
yeah,
And uh I think they're yeah, I think that they definitely surprised me. I think they have a decent team. It's all gonna go on like the shoulders of Richardson. And Richardson, when Richardson played against the Texans, he looked very good. He looked pretty
yeah,
good. He looked like
yeah.
he knew what he was doing, and obviously he got concussed. But they I
Correct.
think they scored all those points in the first half. Could be wrong,
And
but
then the winner in overtime,
yeah.
the field goal.
So my surprise, I guess, was the Texans. I don't know if I can
Hmm.
call it a surprise since I just said I thought they were gonna get 7 wins, but
Yeah,
I didn't think they were
yeah,
gonna
they,
whoop the Jags like that.
yeah, they look pretty solid.
Yeah, the obviously defense here and there, but that's another thing. D'Amico Ryan's another defensive coordinator. I don't think he's let up a crazy amount of points, so like that's how it should go. And if
No,
the offense
yeah,
hums, then that's exactly
he could be
how it should
scary.
be.
Right.
I had the
Uh, good.
no, never mind. I didn't have that. Never mind. Go to
All right.
disappointments.
Uh, moving on, couple um other really intriguing games to me. Chargers beat the Vikings. I predicted the Vikings on the last episode. I said the Chargers are going to have to prove to me that they can win a game before I pick them. I thought they looked really good. I thought Justin Herbert was fantastic. I maybe the best game of his career. I he was the highest completion percentage with any quarterback, over 45 pass attempts, 400 yards, a bunch of touchdowns. I don't, if you're, if you're a Chargers fan, I can't say I'm pleased that that is what it took to win a game, but I'm incredibly pleased that we won a game if I was a Chargers fan. If you fall to 0-3, that would have been pretty catastrophic waters, I think Staley would have probably been fired after another loss or two. But seems like they righted the ship and they looked really, really good.
Man, oh man, if they lost that game and Staley was not fired before he got to his press conference,
Yeah.
that had to have been the worst. Obviously, it worked, but that had to have been one of the worst decisions I've seen. I'd understand if we're at the 50-yard line. Cool, flipping
Mhm.
field. That's fine. But we're at our own 28 with a minute
Yeah.
47. I
Yeah.
understand it was 1 yard, but the other team had no timeouts. They had to go the
Mhm.
distance. Go the distance. And you handed them the ball at the 30-yard line. And
Yep.
they almost scored. Went thrown out of his
Yeah.
hands. Went out of his hands, tipped up, whatever.
Yeah.
I cannot believe, first of all, that they still won that game. And another thing is, well, the Vikings in itself, clock management was god awful. I'm pretty sure
Horrible.
they
Horrible.
only ran 5 plays, and that was the minute 40 seconds.
Yeah. Horrible.
But like, I was shocked.
Yeah.
If they would have lost that game, and if Staley, I still think Staley was gonna get fired halfway through the season.
Hmm.
I don't know how they put up with that.
Yeah.
It's literally just like he's like just gambling, not just his job, other people's jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. Keenan Allen, absolute wind back the clock game. 20 targets, 18 for 215 is pretty fantastic. They were not running at all. 15 carries for 30 rushing yards, and they just said, "Look, Herbert, you go and play like Superman and win us the game." And to his credit, he did. I thought Kirk Cousins looked okay, putting up a bunch of numbers again in a loss, but um,
Most
I
yards
mean,
in the NFL.
yeah, yeah, that game, I think the Chargers really needed that one, and they got it. Uh, Another really interesting one was the Dallas Cowboys, Deuces
I
Cowboys.
almost wanted to pick them to
Man,
get upset too, because
man,
I tend to be a
that
big
one
Cardinals
hurts.
guy.
Yeah, that one hurts if you're a Cowboys fan. If you're a Cowboys fan, you have looked fantastic through the
That's what I
first
was
two
trying to
weeks.
say too. Is that the Jets? You play the Jets and the Giants, and all of a sudden they're
Mhm.
Super Bowl contenders. I said, let's play a real team, even though they still haven't yet, and they
Yeah,
lost to the worst team in the NFL.
yeah. Cardinals are probably not trying to win a lot of games. Uh, I'm a big Dak Prescott fan. I think he is very much hated because he is a cowboy and a lot of people hate him. But it's difficult for me to excuse that performance. They had 5 red zone trips
Yep.
and 6 points. 0 touchdowns in the red zone. 2 field goals, 2 turnovers on downs, and a turnover. Absolutely inexcusable. That you cannot win football games with 0 touchdowns and 5 red zone trips. I thought Dak was horrible. But also, I mean, the defense too. 28 points to the Cardinals, 222 yards on the ground. James Conner, Josh Dobbs running for 55. I mean, what are we doing? I read something really interesting that said that the Cardinals game plan was running at Micah Parsons to try and take him out of the game, not let him get into pass rush rhythm. Apparently it worked. James Conner had 14 for 98 and a score.
Yep.
Again, Josh Dobbs had 55 rushing yards, played like a fantastic quarterback game. Uh, Cowboys was a big disappointment for me.
Yeah, and with the thing with, like you said, rushing at them, a lot of people, that their game plan is to do the exact opposite. But when you do the exact
Yeah,
opposite, that allows them to play free. Now, if you run at them, since Michael Parsons is he's an edge rusher, so he's very aggressive trying to sack the
yeah,
quarterback, right? So the difference, if you're a defensive lineman, between run and pass is, if you're in run, you're supposed to stand your ground and be able to peek and see which you have a gap, basically, assignment, and you have to like
yeah,
hold your gap. But if Michael Parsons is just trying to always just run by people, what's going to end up happening is he just runs by people, and he runs
Yeah.
around you, and you just run right up to where he left. So
Right.
that's another. Obviously, it's way harder than it sounds, because
Yeah.
obviously he's a great player. That's like some teams do have success running at Aaron Donald, but I say
Yeah.
that's a little different. Is because Aaron Donald is not a pass rusher. He is an interior defender that can stop anything and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, because I think more of
Mhm.
an edge rushing player, it's easier to do that, because like I said, they're always going to try to beat you off the line, and you just, like I said, it basically creates a hole. If you like
Yeah.
watch closely, like if he hit, how aggressive he is, it's going to create a hole, and you just run right at him, technically. But yeah,
They play the Patriots next week. Another rushing
you know who
team.
I got.
No, we'll. I hope not. We'll get to it later. Moving into the AFC East and our favorite teams, Bills looked pretty dang good last week. Defense looked good. Maybe a hot take. I don't think their offense looked particularly great, but they
Yeah,
didn't
we scored
have
all our
to.
points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. They didn't have to, but man, defense had what 9 sacks or how many sacks they have? They had 5 sacks, I think, or something like that.
No, I think you're right. I
Defense
think it
looked
was
fantastic.
9.
Yeah, it was some
A
ridiculous
fumble
amount.
recovery, 4
Yeah,
picks.
5 turnovers. Sam Howell, who I was singing his praises after the week 2 episode, he looked like deer in headlights, Deuce. I didn't watch too much. What were your takeaways from that game?
So the Bills, the first drive, the Bills got all the way down there. Messed, I think either holding or something got us back, so we had to end up kicking a field goal.
Mhm.
But we looked pretty smooth going all the way down. We ended up scoring the second drive, but we did stall a little bit, because obviously the score said 38-3, but we had 16 points going into the fourth quarter. So
Yeah,
like it's kind of like stockpiled all in that 8 minutes of that fourth quarter where we scored 21 more
right.
points
Yeah,
or 22 more points. But I feel that the run game looks better, but the run game's always going to look better when you're up, and you're always going to be able to run when
yeah,
you're up.
right.
It was really because I'm a huge Dan Orlovsky fan. I love his breakdowns, what he puts out. Like, I think it's very high level stuff if you can really understand the game. And
Mhm.
he was saying like 2 weeks ago that if they just go under center to do the play action instead of do the play action in the gun, that it will be a lot better for the run game and the explosive plays. And
Mm.
I
Paid
heard him
dividends.
say that, and it happened last week. Pay dividends. They go under the gun, play action. All of a sudden,
Mhm.
we're throwing the ball 20, 25 yards downfield now. It's just because
Yeah,
when you do it under center, people actually think you're going to run. Besides, if you do it in
right.
shotgun, they're going to be like, well, he can run all he wants. Like, and it's easier to see the play action.
Yeah,
If you're under gun, you can't see, or if you're under the center, you can't see nothing. But I think
right.
that helped. The defense actually looked insane. The
Yeah,
defensive line, and which was a huge eyesore, I guess, last year, looks absolutely phenomenal. And we
Mhm.
don't even have Von Miller playing, and that's what I
Yeah,
reminded myself after the game. As I was like, we look really good. I don't know how good the Washington's O line is, but we look
yeah,
really good on the D line, and Von Miller isn't even on the field yet.
right.
And there's people, because we do a big rotation. If you watch, we rotate, I think, 8 guys. So it's
Mhm.
like sometimes there's line changes. And
Yeah,
people like Epinesa, he only plays like 30 snaps. Sat here and
yeah,
got a pick. And a touchdown, actually. The touchdown pick. And he got a couple sacks too. So it's really by committee on that defensive line. And I just can't imagine when there's actually going to be someone that's going to be obviously on the field. They're going to have Von Miller on the field a lot longer than everyone else. But
right.
like, now you got to deal with Von Miller and then still have these, I guess, like roll rushers or roll defenders that are making plays on the back end. But the defense, I can't even. There's one dude, Terrell Bernard. I met him here actually. He trains at Exos.
Mhm.
Met him on the last day he was here because we were gonna end up getting work in, and he worked real hard. I saw it. And everyone did think Terrell Dotson was gonna be like the next Tremaine Edmonds, and I don't think people understand. Terrell Bernard got hurt and didn't play in the preseason games. And
Yeah.
when week 1 hit, like those 2 weeks that he had, he just got it was his role because of what he was
Right.
doing all off season.
Right.
So, and you can see it. He's got what 2 picks now and 3 sacks and
Mhm.
a fumble recovery. He's
Yeah.
playing extremely well for I'm gonna butcher this, but I'm pretty sure he was like a 4th or 5th round pick.
Mhm. Yeah. I think their defense does look very scary. I think.
Besides Benford, I don't know what we're doing with him. We don't have an
Yeah.
answer for that backside corner, and that's my worry when we play you guys this
Right.
weekend. Our backside corner, whoever it is, if it's him or Elam or Dane
Yeah.
Jackson, that is that's a weak point. Like if you need to
Mhm.
win a football game versus us, whoever's there, it's offense through them.
Yeah. I think that while their defense looks very impressive, I'm curious to see when they start playing some better offenses. Vegas, Zach Wilson, and the Commanders are not exactly great competition. So while I think their defense looks fantastic, I'd like to see what happens when they start playing some top half offenses. But getting Vaughn back is going to be huge. Their linebacker play looks fantastic. With Poyer out this week, I'm curious
I
to
did
see
see
how their
that.
secondary looks. But
Hamlin.
yeah, they look good. Um, and now to address the elephant in the room, one team put up 70 points last
It wasn't
week.
mine.
7-0. And for those who don't know, I was actually there at the game. It was the single craziest football game I've ever seen in my life. 70 points, second most points since, I don't know, 1966, I think. 726 total yards of offense, 376 through the air, 350 through the ground. It was mind-boggling. The efficiency. They didn't have an incomplete pass in the first half. They had 35 points in the first half, 35 in the second half. It was something. To me, what stands out, the difference, and I also would like to see them play a little bit better competition. I thought against New England, very good defense traditionally. They looked fine. But the difference to me in their offense is this year it looks like they're able to sustain drives more. Last year, their offense, especially late in the year, was like, shoot, we gotta pray we score on some big miraculous throw to Tyreek or Waddle because we can't sustain a 9-play, 10-play touchdown drive. But this year, if they can run the ball, I don't know how anybody ever stops them. After the Chargers game, the last 2 weeks, teams start playing these 2 high, 3 high safety looks, basically saying, look, we are not going to let you throw the ball downfield, opening up very light boxes. They're able to run the ball. Tua's taking what's given to him, making the correct plays. But, if they're able to run, I don't see how any defense ever stops them.
Yeah, I just want to say you can't sit here and say that last year Nathaniel Hackett did the worst coaching job ever and then legitimately
Correct.
do the worst coaching job that people have seen since 1996 or 1966. That
Yeah.
is absolutely insane. And the Dolphins could have scored more.
Oh yeah,
They need
yeah.
they need the ball with 2 minutes and some change on the clock.
They scored their 70th point with over 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
without Jalen Waddle. I think their offense is playing at an incredible level right now. I think they're able to beat you multiple ways. I think Mike McDaniel's in his bag. But again, both of those teams, the Chargers and the Broncos, are not good defensively. The Patriots game, I thought they looked good. They didn't look great, and Patriots have a great defense. So I think Sunday will be a great test for their offense.
Yeah.
I I think I just think that the biggest thing, again, as I said, just if they're able to run the ball, obviously you're not going to run for 350 every game, but if you're able to be a top 10 rushing team with that passing attack, and teams have to start putting more guys in the box, and you're forced to play one-on-one outside versus Waddle and Tyreek, I just think that there are too many ways for them to beat you.
Yeah, I don't know how as a basically for the Bills, I don't even know if you turn on that 70 clip tape because I'm not sure what you're gonna
Yeah,
find.
right.
So
Yeah.
they're definitely gonna have to
If
look
you're the
back.
Bills, Deuce, how are you trying to approach this game? Are you trying to say, okay, let's stop the pass, or okay, let's make them pass and stop the run? What do you think? What do you think you would do if you're in that situation?
I'm 100% stopping the pass. It's just like you said, how successful you actually are at running the ball throughout the game. I just feel like regardless of how successful you are running the ball, I as a momentum, I guess, tactic, I can't see Tyreek Hill catch a 40-yard bomb. If you want to
Yeah,
run the ball and get 30 and 20-yard gains, I think that is way better to sustain than watching Tyreek Hill catch a slant and run for 90.
yeah,
I just think the morale will be kept if someone's like running the ball and like that's exactly what we want, even if you are scoring and stuff. But as soon as
yeah,
Tyreek catches that ball 40 yards or runs past everyone, then I feel like that's where it kind of gets shaky. I don't know how they're gonna defend. There's a lot of motion going on.
mhm,
And at least what the Jets did versus the Bills is they would follow those motions, which would make it seem like it's a man indicator, and then still drop off into zone. I don't know how successful that would be because of the way that you guys do motion. Like it's usually out
yeah,
motions back in to back out, or it's like same. It's really like more same side motions
yeah,
sometimes, and then obviously there are ones where you come all the way across, but I I just think you just let them run and pray. If you want to get cute, you would pack the box, but call like deep coverage plays. So
mhm,
like that would be like if you want to get cute, but at the same time, if you're packing the box and trying to make it seem like it's one on one, someone's probably gonna run by you if they name Tyreek Hill
yeah,
or Jalen
yeah.
Waddle.
Yeah, that's definitely moving into week 4 matchups, that's definitely one I think everybody's looking at. Um, just little, quick eye glance at some of the better games. I think the Monday night game, Seahawks at Giants, will be fun. I think Patriots Cowboys will be a good one. Ravens Browns divisional matchup should be good. But not a ton to me in terms of must watch games outside of Miami versus Buffalo, which is really nice. Um, Deuce, in terms of week 4, are there any teams that really need wins for you? You're thinking in terms of playoff hopes or just stop the bleeding. Are there any teams that really need a win?
I think that the Vikings need to win at 0-3. If you go
Yeah,
0-4 with the amount of talent that you have on, I I don't think you can fire the coach just because it's the second year with him.
right.
But at the same time,
You
expectations of
can't go 0
last
and 4.
year,
Yeah,
you kind of only got better. I feel like the only difference is Dalvin Cook not being there, but I feel like the team's relatively similar. You did add Jordan Addison,
Mhm.
and for some reason, it seems like there was a big decline. So I know you probably cannot fire the coach only off of a year and a half or really a year
Yeah.
and 4 games, but with the amount of talent that's on the team, there should be something in that win
Yeah.
column.
Yeah, I'll giving my 2 cents on the answer as to why they're declining. For those who know me, I'm big into analytics, big into statistics and variance. And the Broncos last season were 11-0 in one-score games. Now, for football fans, one-score games are
The
typically very
Broncos?
high. Sorry, Vikings.
Okay.
Vikings were 11-0 in one-score games last season. Uh, One-score games are typically high variance. Anybody can win. They had a lot going right for them. You look at some of the ways they were winning those games, they were incredibly unsustainable. Yet Vikings fans, we can win all these one-score games. We're clutch, blah, blah, blah. No, they're borderline lucky. And as you've seen, their luck has regressed to the mean, where their luck is now equal or even less than most NFL teams. Now they're 0-3 in one-score games. They're losing in a lot of ways they were winning last year. And I think a lot of people, both of us predicted them to take a huge step back. A lot of people could have told you, look, you're not nearly as good as your record was. They didn't add any incredible pieces last year. It's only a matter of time before they start actually regressing to how they're playing.
Wait, didn't they
Which
lose to the Viking or didn't they lose to the Eagles by 8
this year,
this year by 8, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
three
they're
straight
0-3 in
games of
one-score game.
one score games this year.
Correct. Yeah, they were 11-0 last season, and this year they've lost a one-score game weeks 1, 2, and 3. And I think that's just simple regression. They had such an incredible outlier year at 11 one-score wins, and now they've regressed to, I'd even say, bad in air quotes luck compared to the rest of the teams. So I do agree Vikings need to win. I'm gonna go to the Giants. Um, Giants are another team neither of us were very high on. Uh, Giants not only made the playoffs but won a playoff game last year. They are a weird case for me. They've played Dallas and got boat raced. They played San Francisco and got boat raced, and they played uh, Arizona, who probably should have
You
won
explain
that
boat race to
game.
me.
Boat
Just
race
for the
is
fans.
Yeah, boat race for anybody who doesn't know just is an absolute complete one-sided demolition in terms of all aspects of the game. You are just getting absolutely drummed. So the Dallas game is a perfect example, 40-0. Uh Giants, if you go and lose at home to Seattle, you're 1-3.
Yep.
Then you go at Miami week 5 where you're not going to be favored. You're in danger of falling to 1-4. Obviously, Eagles running away with a division, Dallas running away with a division. The Commanders sneakily have 2 wins somehow right now. I think you're in real danger if you're the Giants, if you don't win this Monday night, of falling too far out in terms of playoff odds early in the season.
Yeah, you know me. I knew the Giants weren't going to be that good, and I think that was my
Yeah.
pretender for the year. Obviously, both our pretenders are doing very well for us. You had the
Yeah.
Vikings that are still haven't won a
Correct.
game,
Yeah.
and I think the Hawks are whooping them, to be honest.
Yeah.
They only won off of a 28-point comeback playing the worst team in the NFL. But besides that, they look absolutely lost out there versus the 49ers and the Cowboys that they played. With a team that has a top 32 quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. Daniel Jones, I don't think he's playing well at all.
Nope.
I think that he essentially the way I'm thinking, he's had essentially one good half of football. I think the second half against Arizona he was fantastic, but other than that, He's 562 passing yards in 3 games, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's 26th in terms of EPA per play at a negative 1.15. To put that in perspective, the only quarterbacks playing worse than him in that metrics are Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Ryan Tannehill, and ironically Joe Burrow. And then you've got guys like Trevor, Bryce Young, Fields, Zach Wilson, who are also way worse than him. But this is a guy you signed to a very handsome contract. So Giants to me are a team that has to figure out. You got to figure out a way to win. And in terms of winning, might as well move on to our picks. Going down the line.
And robbers?
Yeah, so we're gonna start with lock and upset of the week. I'll start with my lock. My lock is the Eagles. I don't think they've been playing well, to be honest. I think Jalen Hurts has been playing very poorly, but their defense looks great. DeAndre Swift looks great. Their running game looks great. Commanders coming off an absolute whopping to the Bills. I think the Eagles get it done and cover very comfortably.
Yeah, but you know what Jalen says. That's the standard.
What's Jalen say?
That's the standard.
Yeah, yeah. Who's your lock, Deuce?
My lock is the Vikings. They need this one bad. They're playing Carolina. I'm not. I don't think Bryce Young's playing. I don't really know, but yeah, I think the Vikings are gonna find a way. They need to find a way.
Yeah,
they're drop
very bad.
Go.
Who do you got for upset? Upset of the week?
My robber is probably the most frequent robber in the last 5 years. The Titans. I got the Titans winning that game. To be honest, I don't remember who it's for.
It's the Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah, I got the Titans winning versus the Bengals.
Okay.
I think they bounce back.
All right. For those who listened to the last episode, Titans were my upset of the week and did not work out so great. Browns killed them. Deshaun Watson looked fine. For me, I'm just gonna say it. My upset of the week: the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Yep. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. But in the end, I think the Dolphins' offense is going to show that they're legit. I think there's going to be a key turnover at some point.
I was gonna say it's gonna be like the YMCA. Whoever can get a stop first.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be. I think Josh is gonna make a key turnover late in the game. Dolphins are going to come out in some sort of high-scoring affair, 31-28, 34-31, something along that, and escape by a field goal. So now we'll go into our weekly picks. On the season, I'm up 2 on Deuce at this point. I've been up 1 each week.
I've been reckless.
Yeah, Deuce has gone with a couple questionable picks from his heart.
Couple emotional picks.
We're gonna start week 1, Jags Falcons. I like Jags as much as I just talked earlier about how disappointed I've been in them. I like the Jags to bounce back. London game, set your clock early, 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I like the Jags as well. The Falcons obviously have been playing okay, but I got the Jags bouncing back after that tough loss.
Game 2, Colts Rams. I like Rams. I think Richardson is back this week. I still don't think they're legit at 2-1. I like them to come back down to earth. Rams win.
Yeah, I got the Rams. I don't think, like I said, I also have them coming back down to earth. Obviously, they had a big win last week, but I think the Rams are going to have a good game plan. They got a good coach, Sean McVay, and I think the Rams pull it off.
Ravens Browns, Deuce, your Ravens. You like them against the Browns, or
Ravens are 100% going to bounce back here. Should still be undefeated, but
coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda. You're right. That's after what I seen with the Browns. I don't care if they won last week. That Steelers game was still JV football.
Yeah. I also like Ravens. I think the Ravens bounce back. Deshaun Watson at the moment is actually questionable. They don't know if he's going to play. I think their defense has looked incredible this year, but I don't think their offense is good enough to win this football game. In terms of my pick, you had your upset over Titans over Bengals. I've got Bengals. I think Joe Burrow has looked absolutely disaster levels of bad this year. I think he's still hurt. I like him to start playing better. He's not going to play this bad for that long. They finally started throwing the ball to Jamar Chase, and good things happened. I like Bengals comfortably against the Titans.
Yeah, I just feel
Um,
like they keep telling him to rest, and then they end up playing him.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
my only thing.
Bucks Saints divisional matchup. I've got the Saints in an ugly one. I was sort of drinking the Bucks Kool-Aid early in the year. That Eagles game was horrible. Sort of turned me off on them. I like the Saints in a low-scoring, close game.
Yeah, I got the Saints in like a 13-10 barn burner. Even when they had Tom Brady, those games were literally like 3-point games. No one could ever get anything going. So yeah, I got like a 13-10 win by the Saints.
Then moving on, game of the week. Dolphins at Bills. Deuce. Dolphins my upset of the week. Just go ahead and say it.
Got
All
the
right.
Buffalo Bills at home. No
Deuce
heat.
likes Bills. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Dolphins. Now this, and then going from probably the best game of the year to maybe the worst, Broncos at Bears. I honestly want to root for a 3-3 tie. I've got the
0-0 tie.
Broncos in an absolute horrible game. I just think the Bears are that bad. I think Justin Fields is absolutely despicably bad this season. I've got Broncos as much as I don't want to pick them. The fact that you were favored on the road after giving up 70 points is pretty criminal.
Yeah, you know me and Fields. I want to pick it so bad, but
Do it. Just
I'm
do
not.
it.
I'm not gonna do it because I just feel like you practice a little bit different when you get 70 hung on your head. So
Yeah.
I got the Broncos bouncing back. I feel like it was a very tough, hard practice. Everyone kind of got to reset their mind, real
Yeah.
reality check. So I just don't feel like there's no way you get 70 dropped on you and you come back out looking the same way.
Flat. Yeah. Next one, my lock of the week was Eagles. Deuce, Commanders, Eagles. Be tough here.
Nah, I got the Eagles. I like
Okay.
the Eagles. I like the Eagles.
Okay. You're an Eagles guy. Steelers, Texans.
Oh yeah. This one's
Steelers are currently 2-1 despite being outscored by 14 points through 3 weeks. I thought Kenny Pickett played maybe the best game of his career last week.
Did you throw for
I
two
like the
scores?
Steelers. Yeah. Yep. It was first career 2-score game, which in today's NFL is pretty crazy that it came almost a full season into his career, but he played very good last week. Their defense is still incredible. My defensive player of the year pick, TJ Watt, looks great right now. I like Steelers in a close one though. I think that I think it's gonna be low scoring, but I think the Steelers defense is gonna give Stroud fits.
Texans are home, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take my Texans.
Okay.
We got to get to 7
All
wins
right.
somehow. I know that defense is definitely going to give him problems, but I
Yeah.
feel like the Texans defense is going to give Kenny a little bit of fits too.
Yeah. Chargers. I like Chargers big over the Raiders. I like a huge game from Herbert. I think Garoppolo is bad. I think every part of the Raiders team besides Devontae Adams is horrible. I think Josh McDaniels should be fired for kicking a field goal at the end of that Steelers game
So
instead of
bad.
not trying. Josh McDaniels
So
kicked
bad.
a field goal to have a chance to score a touchdown to lead instead of going for a touchdown to tie the game. That's absolutely a fireable offense from me. I like Chargers in a blowout.
And you don't even have to be a head coach. If you play Madden, man, if I'm already down there, I have to score, because then with the less time that I have, I don't have to go as far. So you kick the field goal, but now you'd have to go the full length of the field when if you just score, like I said, if you don't score, you don't score, but you would have had to regardless. So if you score, now you only have to get to the 38-yard line, 33, 38, 33.
Yeah. Yeah. Next one, 49ers Cardinals. Obviously going 49ers. I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. I like 49ers in a blowout.
Yeah, I like the Niners. I don't think there's going to be anything that the Cardinals are going to be able to do that's going to be sustainable.
Yeah. Cowboys Patriots. I've got Cowboys to bounce back. I don't think the Patriots offense is good enough. I like Dak to find a way to win in a 2-score game.
I don't think that the Patriots offense is good enough, but I hope and I know Bill Belichick watched that film to see what the Cardinals did, so they can try to do that. But
take New England, Deuce. Take your Patriots.
The Cowboys just haven't played anyone, and they already have the Cowboys legitimately have played the top 5 worst teams in the NFL and are 2-1 out of it.
Yeah.
So I just feel like if you play, I guess I can't really call the Patriots a middle of the road team, but I just feel like with a little bit of better coach. Yeah, okay. So like with a little bit of better coach, I at least feel like it's gonna be close. So I'm gonna take the Patriots. Like I said, I'll keep getting burned probably, but I gotta at least try to get out the hole.
Chiefs Jets Sunday night. I like Chiefs in an absolute demolition. I'm hoping we don't have to watch too many Jets primetime games. Mahomes looked like Mahomes last week. Kelsey's in the end zone. Taylor Swift is
the Bears.
Yeah. Taylor Swift is involved in the NFL, which I don't think any of us foresaw at the start of this year. I like Chiefs in a 25-plus point game.
Do you know how tempting this is?
Just
because I believe in the defense. And the thing is, I believe in the defense so much. It's just we can't get past the 50-yard line on offense.
No.
Regardless of what we want to do, we cannot cross the 50-yard line.
No.
So the only way that I would pick the Jets to win is a defensive score.
Yeah.
But I think I got the Chiefs, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be 17-7.
Wow.
In the defensive score.
You like?
I truly don't know if the Jets are able to score an offensive touchdown, but I think the defense is gonna have a good game plan for Mahomes. But like I said, I don't. At 17-7, that's what I got.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook, I think, has been an immense disappointment this year, and as a Dolphins fan, I cannot be more pleased that they did not sign him.
They don't need him. They just ran. Those 2 guys just ran for 380.
Mm-hmm. Last game, Seahawks at Giants Monday night. I actually think this will be a great game. I've got Seahawks in a close one. As much as I talked about how much the Giants needed to win this game, must win, must win, must win, I've got the Seahawks in a nail-biter.
I got Seahawks big.
Yep.
28.
Deuce the Seahawks.
28-7. 28-10. I'll give it to them. 28.
Wow. Deuce like Seahawks in a blowout.
Seahawks big. They just dropped 37.
Yeah. That wraps it up for episode 5 of the HTH pod. Again, keep an eye out on Instagram for the giveaway. If you'd like to join that, check out at Coach Deuce and at the HTH pod on Instagram. There's going to be a post about that on both pages. Next episode will be dropping next week. Giveaway winners, takeaways. I'm excited. One of us is going to be pretty happy next episode. The other is going to be pretty disappointed. But yeah, thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram at the HTH pod, at Coach Deuce, at JStokes5. Leave a comment on this episode. Give us a rating. Click that bell. We're going to be posting weekly episodes. Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys all next week.